critics say that history perhaps is repeating itself in Pakistan, and today's political turmoil and crisis has strong echoes of the past. The country is facing formidable challenges in a deeply divided and a politically fractured state. So let's actually take a look at the problems that Pakistan presently faces. Now, the heart of all the political crisis which Pakistan is facing is the change in the election date for the province of Punjab. So let's tell you exactly as to what the date has been changed to for the province and why it has been done so. Now, the country's Supreme Court called the delay in the Punjab elections as unconstitutional and has ordered the government to hold snap elections by the 14th of May. Now, Pakistan's Election Commission has also confirmed the same, although the change in election date for the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is still awaited. But the story does not end here. The judiciary and the executive are locked in a battle of wits. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has called the verdict as nothing short of a murder of justice, refusing to abide by the Supreme Court ruling. The ruling government is asking the Chief Justice of Pakistan to rethink and to reconstitute a full court bench to resolve this crisis. Now, speaking on the floor of the National Assembly, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif equated the decision with that of judicial murder of the former Pakistani president. He said that the murder of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, remember, had taken place on the 4th of April back in 1979. And on the same date, the unfortunate episode was repeated through the electoral judgment, is what the incumbent government in Pakistan claims. Moreover, after the government, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Supremo Nawaz Sharif has also asked the Chief Justice of Pakistan to resign immediately. The three-time former Prime Minister has said that courts are steering the nation out of the crisis and they do not push a nation into the crisis as they are presently doing. The musical chair does not end here. Well, after the two judges challenged the Pakistan Chief Justice's powers to form a bench or to take suo motu notices, Pakistan's President Arif Alvi has now returned a bill that was passed a few days ago to curb the Chief Justice's power. Now, another big problem that Pakistan presently faces is, of course, the fact that Shehbaz Sharif government has decided to launch a new nationwide military operation to root out Islamist militants. The move was announced by the country's National Security Committee. Now, Pakistan had launched a similar operation in 2014 and it had cost the country billions of dollars, while 1 million people were displaced and many hundreds were killed. In the last few months, Pakistan has seen a sharp rise in terror attacks. Attacks have been carried out by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan after negotiations between the government and the militant outfit had broken down last year. And this year, the group and its factions have unleashed a wave of terror, including suicide bombings at a mosque in northwestern city of Peshawar, in which at least about 100 people were killed, most of them policemen. So the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has unleashed an all-out war on the Pakistani state. But the decision to launch the military operations has come amidst Pakistan's ongoing severe economic crisis. Carrying out the operation at this time could, of course, be a very costly measure. And amidst the skyrocketing inflation, Pakistan is currently facing the risk of a possible default due to the massive external debt. Now, according to a prominent U.S. think tank, the United States Institute of Peace, Pakistan needs to repay about $77.5 billion of external debt from April 2023 until June 2026. The problem has been compounded by the derailment of the International Monetary Fund's bailout program. And Pakistan's finance minister, who was scheduled to meet with the top IMF officials and multilateral creditors in a bid to try and secure the stalled funding, however, has now cancelled the visit, citing domestic political turmoil. And to help us understand what is unfolding in Pakistan at this moment slightly better, we're being joined by senior journalist Imtiaz Gul, who's joining us live from Islamabad at this moment. Mr. Gul, thank you very much indeed, sir, for taking time out and speaking to us here in WION. You know, there are a whole host of different issues that Pakistan at this moment is plagued with, but I want to talk a bit about the financial crisis that is unfolding in Pakistan. Now, the Pakistani finance minister has cancelled his visit to Washington, where he was supposed to go and meet with the leadership of the IMF. What's actually happened?
Well, he just told the media that the Prime Minister had asked him to cancel the visit, whereas what was widely reported in the last 15-20 hours was that the Ishaq Dar the finance minister had sought meetings with key people, including the US Secretary of Treasury, as well as the managing director of the IMF. Both meetings were politely declined. And probably this was one reason why he had to cancel the trip.
Very interesting, but as they say, you know, when it rains, it pours, and Pakistan at this moment is facing several problems on several fronts. There is the financial crisis, there is a political crisis, there's also a slugfest that's now opened up between the government in Islamabad and the judiciary in Pakistan. You know, the question that I want to ask you is, with this being the case, can the Shehbaz Sharif government even address the many financial problems that Pakistan presently faces?
Well, I think no government can provide any answers to economic or financial problems as long as it is surrounded by political instability, as well as it is given to the 19th century mindset, as we have evidenced in the last few months. The Shehbaz Sharif and his elder brother Nawaz Sharif, they belong to an era, mentally, intellectually, where they have used the country as their fiefdom, I would say, and this patronage, the culture of patronage that they have promoted, refuses to go, and also what is at the heart of the problem, or at the heart of negotiations with the IMF, is the refusal here within Pakistan by top leadership, whether it's bureaucracy, the military, or the political leadership, that they are not amenable to the kind of reforms that the IMF wants them, and this is a subject on which Pakistani leadership has been dragging heels, and that's why, you know, we are now seeing the cumulative impact of the refusal to implement and force reforms very much in line with the demands of a growing population. So we have seen lots of misgovernance, misrule, and then there is not enough focus on growth. So the country has not grown, whereas the population is growing, and that basically means outpacing the financial resources that the country is able to generate.
Absolutely, indeed. And my final question to you, Mr. Gul, is, besides the many problems, there's also this problem of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which in the month of November last year has declared an all-out war against the government in Islamabad. Effectively, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has a stated objective that it wants to destroy the Pakistani state as it exists, to establish a different kind of a state according to its own narrow, obscurantist ideology. The question that I need to ask you is, is Pakistan at this moment even prepared to take on the threat that Tehreek-e-Taliban poses?
I think Pakistan is very much in a position to take on this threat and survive the threat. I mean, these are proxy terrorists. They are not rooted within the population. They are not part of the population. They are proxy militants, terrorists, who have declared very clearly that they are not going to accede to the constitution of Pakistan, to the law of Pakistan. And their roots are very much basically connected with the Afghan Taliban, because they all have been part of the struggle against the US-led NATO forces. So that's why the Afghan Taliban are also reluctant in taking any direct conclusive action against the TTP, whose leadership is very much in Kabul, in the Afghan capital, as well as in some of the eastern Afghan provinces. So Pakistan does have a difficulty in dealing with the Afghan Taliban and telling them that they must rein in not only the TTP, but many other proxy terrorist groups which have been publicly vowing to take revenge from China, from Russia, from Islamic movement of Uzbekistan. Like, this is one Central Asia focus group, and there are many other groups basically who I would say are not more than any proxy terrorist groups.
Absolutely, indeed. Mr. Gul, thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.